Hello, dear viewers. Namaskar. Welcome to MOKSHA Media. You are with MOKSHA Hiramat. Taittiriya Upanishad is one of the principal Upanishads. It is composed in the 6th or 5th century before Common Era. It is a pre-Buddhist composition. Muktika Upanishad placed Taittiriya Upanishad on the 7th place in the canon of 108 Upanishads. Of course, Muktika Upanishad is the latest one. It is composed in the 17th century in the language of Telugu. But anyhow, it has its own importance in the history of Upanishads. Taittiriya Upanishad is also an important one regarding its understanding of the world, space, Atma, Brahma, food, etc., etc. Taittiriya name comes from a sage by name Taittiriya or Taittiriya. Taittiriya was a sage in the 6th or 5th century of BCE. But anyhow, it may be referred to his disciples also. From the name of the sage or from his disciples, the Sanskrit word Taittiriya has come into practice. Taittiriya is also told us something about the importance of this world. I have already told you it is a pre-Buddhist composition. It is composed in the language of Sanskrit. Taittiriya Upanishad is in the 7th, 8th and 9th chapters of Aranyaka Upanishads. Of course, this has been taken from Aranyakas, and Taittiriya Upanishad has 3 chapters. These chapters are called as Vallikas. It contains Shiksha chapter, Ananda chapter, or Brahma, it is also called Brahmananda chapter, and then Bhrigu chapter or Bhrigu Vallika. In these 3 chapters, Taittiriya Upanishad goes on and on, revealing its realization and understanding of the world in general and man and society in particular. In Shiksha Valli, it is told of education system prevailed at that time. It tells us the initiation of a student into the school, the responsibilities of him, his graduation, and his responsibilities to the society after graduation. It is also told us about the phonetics and the sound, because in those days the utterances, the pronunciation of word is very important, because the variations in pronunciations gives different meanings in a different context, in different ways. That is why pronunciation plays a prominent role in Shiksha Valli. Of course, that Shiksha Valli goes on and on, telling the importance of the teacher. Teacher and students are very important. You cannot imagine teacher without the student and student without the teacher. And student should respect the teacher. And teacher in general should take into account the care of the students. And in the second chapter, that is Anandavalli, and also called Brahmanandavalli, it tells us something about the importance of Ananda. It says something about 5 koshas. They are Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and Ananda kosha. In each kosha, the Taittiriya Upanishad composer goes on and on telling what it means, how man gets happiness and peace in life. And he also tells us that without Ananda, you cannot be happy. But in order to get happiness, you have to lead a life of simplicity. That is, we have to know the importance of the food. We have to know the importance of Pranamaya kosha, that is the importance of breathing. We have to know the importance of mind, and we have to think which is right and which is wrong in Vijnanamaya kosha. And of course, then only we can have that Anandamaya kosha. So Anandamaya kosha is cultivated one. Without that cultivation, you cannot get that Ananda. So that is what Taittiriya goes on and on advising his students. Of course, Taittiriya was the disciple of Yaksha, and in turn, Yaksha was the disciple of Vaishampayana. So anyhow, it is passed from mouth to mouth, from one person to another person, from one generation to another generation, on and on. Of course, knowledge is passed, knowledge is spread in this way, and Upanishads are not an exception to this. Then in Bhruguvalli, we have the conversation, we have the dialogue between father and son. Varuni was the father of Bhrigu. One day Bhrigu asked his father, how could he come to know the importance of Atma and Brahma? Then Varuni told, you are the Brahma, you are the Atma, you have to realize this world, you have to realize that Pancha Mahabhutas You have to realize the earth, space, sky, etc., etc. And if you realize it, that itself becomes Brahma, that itself becomes Atma. So, earth is at the bottom, sky is at the top, space is in between, water is the conjunction, and air is the connector. Sun, that is the children at the bottom, father at the top, that procreation is the combination, conjunction, and of course that passing it generation to generation is the connector. That is the procreation is the connector. So it goes on and on, telling us the importance of the earth, the space, the sky, the water, the air, and etc., and Brahma and Atma. Of course, in order to realize it, you have to cultivate some of the things. You have to concentrate on it. You have to meditate on it. Without meditation, you can't do all these things. And if you go beyond this, then only you will come to know what it is. Of course, in Bhrigu, it is told that everything is connected, everything is interdependent. You cannot imagine the world without connection. You cannot imagine anything without dependency. One thing depends upon another thing, and another thing depends upon other things. So like this dependency is there, and when you understand that dependency, when you understand that connection properly, then only you come to know that Atma and Brahma, then only you will be happy, then only you can lead the life of peace. So that is why that dependency, that connection, that interdependency should be understood properly. So without understanding it, if you try to understand other things, it will end in vain. So that is why, in order to have that, we have the primary thing, that is the food. And food should be shared with others. That sharing is very important. If you eat your food yourselves, it is not that much of good. And the food should be shared according to his capacity, according to his potentiality, according to his or her needs. That is why this sharing is very important in the life of a man. Without sharing, you cannot imagine anything in this world. Everything should be shared, which enhances the development of humanity, which enhances the nobility of humanity, which enhances the highness of the society. If it is not good, you cannot share it, you should not be shared. But whatever is good should be shared with others. Whatever is good should be shared in the society. So it tells us something about the importance of sharing in the society. So that Taittiriya Upanishad goes on and on telling these things in its composition. Taittiriya Upanishad tells us other things also, which are very important nowadays in the world, because now we are in the era of Vijnanamaya Kosha. Everything, everyone should be questioned. Of course, that must be there. Without questioning, if you accept everything, that leads to tragedy. But how you question, what is the intention of your questioning, what the style of your questioning is very important. Questioning must be there. At the same time, there would be answer. or answer may be waited. Sometimes we cannot get the answer then and there only because it requires some time. We have to wait for that. And in the meanwhile, we try to seek of it. We try to search for it. We try to research it. So that is why everything should be questioned, everything should be realized, and then only we can lead the life of happiness, then only we can have the peace of life. So whatever we see, whatever we read, whatever we understand in Upanishads, they tell us, they reveal to us something about the peace of life. They tell us the way to get that peace and the importance of that peace. Because ultimately, peace plays a prominent role in the life of a man, in the development of a society. So, in this way, Taittiriya Upanishad goes on and on revealing its understanding. So, it mainly concentrates on the food, on the school, that is the pronunciation and phonetics, which you cannot expect at that time, because now phonetics is a field of study, but at that time phonetics was there, it was at the base level, but in that base level the Upanishadkas tried to understand that phonetics, tried to define that phonetics in their own ways. Of course, that is helpful nowadays to understand the phonetics and the sounds of other languages. That phonetics and pronunciation, the importance of Annamaya Kosha, and the importance of earth, space, sky, water, air, and the interdependency of it, the connection of it, the combination of it, and the sharing of it with others. So these are the things we come to know in Taittiriya Upanishad. Of course, that is what Varuni advises his son Bhrigu. But nowadays, the time have been changed, the method of it have been changed, but the aim of it is same. The style of it may have been different. So anyway, in one way or another way, these Upanishads tell us something about the life and tell us how to enhance the happiness in life, tell us how to get the peace and how to cultivate the life, etc., etc. So that is what we realize in reading and understanding the Taittiriya Upanishad. Dear viewers, please subscribe and share, and see you in the next episode. Namaskar.